RIP to this guy's barber cuz bro and to Ver, getting a haircut again. Jamie Vardy's next chapter is as random as it gots, and Trent has already lost his starting spot at Madrid. This is Dean McDaily. Manchester divided just put Thefries in the bag. Ruben Amorim put Thefries in the bag. Harlan 2.0 apparently. Yeah, put the fries in Thibig. I mean, where do you even begin with this deeply unserious football club? Just when you think it couldn't possibly get any worse, further humiliation ensues. Deservedly, beaten by a League Two club. A League Two club, Man Utd, who rested their leading goalscorer, even as a card-carrying member of the United Hate Watch Association. I'm still crashing out because this is beyond Farrell. The bomb squad must be laughing their asses off right now. Were the problem all along, right? Meanwhile, Ruben Amorim continues to lead this club into new lows. Do I think he alone is responsible for this calamity? No, Botu have to be devoid of objective reality to not recognize that he is repeatedly failing to a far worse degree than his predecessors. Take his horrific managerial record of United out of the equation. Just look at the starting 11 here. This wasn't an entirely rotated side, no, at least 6 of the starting 11 were regular first-team players. The 11's combined value was £320 million, as opposed to Grimby's 1.78 mil. United had to then call on an additional 256 mil worth of substitutes to try bail. The amount of a humiliation to which they still failed. Sure, Anana was comically distress. He's never coming back from this. But collectively, everyone wasterable, and Amorim bears responsibility for that the image of him scrambling through their tactics manual, trying to find a solution against a team they should be battering every day of the week. It deserves public mockery. This man is getting paid over 100 grand a week. How can any rational United fan still cling on to the idea that this guy is capable of fixing things? There's zero adaptability to his methods, zero innovation. Meanwhile, you have a guy like Thomas Frank at Spurs, who, in his opening 3 games in charge, has set up in 3 different formations to counter his opponents. That's tactical flexibility. That's competent management. Unlike Amorim's perpetual 343 disaster class now, I've seen some fans blame Abu and Kuna for missing decisive penalties. But if any United forward is worthy of legitimate criticism today, it's Benjamin Sesko. After going missing all game, he then steps up as their 10th penalty taker. This was their marquee striker signing, and he's petrified of stepping up for Appel away at Grimby in the League Cup second round. Sure, he did score, but that kind of mentality isn't what you want to see from your star center forward. I could go on all day. About this result, it's a laughably sad state of affairs. We almost witnessed another shocking upset in Germany, with Bayern Munich narrowly escaping defeat against third-tier side Van Harden. Harry Kane bagged a 94th-minute winner, but this was still a worrying result for the German champions. They fielded a strong lineup, a front 3 of Diaz, Wazan. Meanwhile, in the Champions League, the final 4 teams have qualified for the group phase in Azerbaijan's Karabag, Benfica, Club Brugge, and FC Copenhagen. Jose Mourinho had some interesting words following his side's defeat at the hands of Benfica, saying, "If we were in the Champions League, we would probably have playdate matches. But in the Europa League, we can go all the way to the final." 4 DHS moves, 300 IQ plays from this special one. Jokes aside, though unironically agree with this perspective, I don't think a side, like Fenerbahce, even with their significantimer investments, have the capacity to compete with the champions. League's elite, the Europa League. However, I could see Fenerbahce going on a decent. Meanwhile, Scottish giants, Celtic Rangers, have been humbled in Europe. Celtic exited the UCL yesterday at the hands of Kazakhstani club FC Kayat, and no Rangers just got cooked, 6-0 losing 9-1 on aggregate. Brutal stuff, I tell you. Both of these clubs could have used a legendary striker like Jamie Vardy, but his next destination appears to be in Italy. Yes, the non-league bagsman turned Premier League icon looks distant to join newly promoted Serie club Cremonese, according to both Gianluca Di Marcio and Sky Italia. Everything about this potential move will be peak. Jamie Vardy, bro, is 38 years old. After a legendary career, heckled have taken a fat paycheck in MLS, maybe Saudi Arabia, or even a lucrative to Hollywood FC. But you got to respect the mad lad. He still wants to compete in a top 5 league. Personally, if I could have chosen his next destination, I would have loved to move to a Red Bull-owned club, purely fourth, memes, but I do think this move is fascinating, potentially becoming the club's first ever English signing and joining a team that will most likely be in a relegation scrap. Granted, they did beat AC Milan at the Sansi to open their SEA campaign. So, who knows, maybe Vardy comes in and goes full Scott McTominay this league. I mean, he had 14 goal contributions in a woeful Leicester side last season. His entire career has been defined by unexpected achievements. So even at 38, I can see him scoring frequently in this area. Staying in theme of transfer news with some updates, and Dortmund have assigned a new center forward in Fabio Silva from Wolves for 25 mil. Hamburg have got their hands on Croatian and Spurs wonder kid Luka Vuskovic on loan. A great move for all parties. I think this kid's going places. Eki Fernandez heading to Lekuza for 30 mil. Man Utd addition for Ten Hag's midfield. Meanwhile, Danny Sayas' proposed loan move to Marseille has collapsed as the French club were unwilling to wait on the Spaniard. Juve close to securing a deal for Kolo Muani in a 5 loan with an obligation to buy for around 55 mil. Meanwhile, AC Milan could be set to add a French forward to their ranks, in Chelsea outcast in Kunku, with a fee exceeding 30 mil in the works. And Besiktas have terminated Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's contract, paying him 175 mil in compensation with a return to England favored. Speaking of Englishmen abroad, we're going to briefly touch on Trent Alexander-Arnold's situation in Madrid. The 26-year-old caused uproar his transfer move to Los Blancos in summer. However, the early signs indicate the grass may not be greener in sunny Spain. Remember, an additional 10 mil was paid to bring in the Reds Academy graduate ahead of scheduled 4th Club World Cup. But after a somewhat underwhelming tournament, followed by a lackluster debut at the Bernabeu, Trentoise dropped for a veteran fullback Dani Carvajal in the following La Liga. The 33-year-old has fully recovered from an ACL blow and appears determined to fight for his starting spot. Bernard Vinny Jr. was also on the bench in their last league outing. According to The Athletic, it's believed that Carvajal is expected to keep Hesplis and Alonso's 11 for a long time despite Trent's presence at the club. That is huge news. Don't get me wrong, Carvajal's a legendary player, one of the most underrated and accomplished fullbacks of the modern era. But there's no way Madrid lured Trent in by saying he'd come in as a second-choice fullback. I mean, Trent's career is 75 million euros, the second most valuable fullback in world football. In the weeks ahead, this could become a controversial subject. Some have suggested maybe a midfield role could be on the cards for Trent, but Madrid already have so many options in that area of the pitch. Crazy times.